Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Last time we left off, we were speaking with Lance, who seemingly confessed that, yes, he did plan the kidnapping, and he was in on it as well, so he can get the money and live off with Lauren together somewhere, without anyone knowing. But he claims that Deacon tried, backstabbing them and all of this, but now we're kind of thinking that Lance was actually the one behind everything, including killing Mr. Deacon, and he's trying to pin it on Lauren. Is that true? Well, let's hear Lauren's testimony about what she really saw of Deacon being restrained. I came back to hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in a room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? We thought it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole a gun from me at that time. And then, the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Lauren saw the victim with her own eyes, which means that the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. And that's what we're about to do. So let's press on some statements here. We subdued and restrained him. Okay, so he tied him to the beam to the... Okay, let's hear about this one thing real quick. You were sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I'm certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Then, are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. That just had to be Mr. Deacon. She saw a Bad Badger head. The captain had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon. But wait a minute. How can you be so sure just because he had a head on? So the tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his Bad Badger costume. Yes, and... It would appear that she misread the whole situation here. What now? Should I raise an objection? I believe so, because something seems off. The person you saw was not the victim. What? Why not? I will tell you why not. With this. This, Lauren, shows us that the person you saw was not the victim. And remember, this head was left in the isolation room right next to Edgeworth. Think about that for a bit. Lauren, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. The only person that I can think of that could have been wearing it. Edgeworth! It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I had handed over the ransom? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? That's... You showed Lauren a person, namely me, with a Bad Badger's head on, and then made your costume escape together. Or so you pretended. Huh? What do you mean he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come to remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to raid his fake prison with the prop sword, he then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy! Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and subsequent detainment, all that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right! You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even that were the case, Lauren would still have seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't want to go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see? It would seem that you can't prove a thing. Gah! Who said that? Please, wait! Mr. Amano! Ho ho ho! Miles, my boy! It looks like you're really giving it your all. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad! Let's see. You were the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. Sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you now? Okay. Is that what I think it is? It's the Bad Badger costume the victim was wearing. And it's a gun! I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Ugh! Is there no one in this country who can actually obey the law? There. Now, Agent Link, please calm down. The heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Amato complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The Chief of Police? What the? Just who do you think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. Ho ho ho. There now. There's no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Now. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of this land. Ugh. Can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found this evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright now, let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. They verified that the blood in this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final piece of the evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it? These are the case-making pieces of the evidence? Ha! I'll be the judge of that. Well, right off the bat, we can expect where the marker lies. Right here, it seems like there's a gunshot hole right here. This bullet hole. It looks kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is a most important fact. Why is that? Because it is proof that the victim was shot at a point-blank range. Right, we've seen this in other Ace Attorney games. Whenever, like, there are burn marks around an area, that means that the discharge of the gun would burn that area with the gunpowder. So, there you go. So we got that. I'm assuming this is a revolver that she threw away, I guess? Is this gonna be the actual murder weapon? Possibly. Don't know. Wait a minute. If you look inside the head, there seems to be something right there. What's this? Looks like there's something inside a costume head. Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here? A mirror. Wait. Something is coming to mind right about now. Well, are these not the most decisive, definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Let's see about that, Lance. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun, and they prove that it was Lauren who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after her life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lauren was only acting in self-defense. The fingerprints on a weapon, huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lauren. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crimes. That may be all. That may be all you can do. However, I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wound me. Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence? Simple, because you put all the evidence together, something just doesn't seem right. So make no mistake, there are fingerprints on... Yeah, okay, there are fingerprints here, but let's raise an objection here. Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Lauren? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I have the best forensics techniques money can buy performed. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Hell yeah, I'm trying to make an argument with you. Frankly, I don't believe that Lauren's prints could be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why her prints should not be on the gun is because of this. Well, this head. The whole aspect of just costumes in general. How, if she's wearing it, then I wouldn't think it would be there. It's simply not possible for Lauren to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Lauren was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Lauren, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Oh, yes! As a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Lauren's prints found their way onto the gun. Ugh. Do you understand now, Mr. Romano? The fingerprints did do nothing to prove that Lauren is a murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh, Lance! What? No way! I'm incredibly worried about her! But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Lauren killed the victim at the stage in the stadium, the whole affair is simply not true, because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. I believe we would look at... Let's see if I can actually find it. I think it would actually be the costume. Because it was at point-blank range that this person was shot going into those gun marks that we saw, the gunpowder burn. And from that recreation we saw at the stadium, that just doesn't seem right because that wasn't really point-blank. Let us take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you will see why I insist that he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it. And once again, I'll be the little bullet hole right here. The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point-blank range. Ah, so then you mean the murder Miss Olbeck saw at the stadium really was... Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Yeah! Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then? Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back in the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. The location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was imprisoned was... I hope you guys saw that. I got it! I know the real scene of the murder! The real location where Mr. Deacon was killed is here. And regarding the new piece of evidence we just got, I think it's over here at the haunted house. I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in a haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it's highly likely the victim was killed there. What proves that the real scene of the crime was a haunted house? Well, as you saw, that mirror was broken. But why would it be broken? We have mirror fragments here. So, is that where they're from? But, once again, why were they broken in the first place?
Take that!
These were inside a costume of the victim he was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? And what does that have to do with anything? Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yay! Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there's one place I can think of where there's a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Amano, I propose that you kill Mr. Deacon with a revolver in a haunted house. I feel like I'm playing Clue. After that, you stole Blue Badger Mobile and moved his body to the Wild Wild West area. The timing when the Blue Badger Mobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more! I'm sorry, Mr. Amano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet! Yes, please, do something! Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense! Ernest Amano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you! I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mere bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Shi-na, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror is for the haunted house. You see? Is it impossible fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Probability? Lang Z says, on Truth's path, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? So since you don't have any, then shut up! I don't have the evidence yet. But I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place in the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the preceding crime was indeed a haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted. But you're not to touch a single thing. You got it? That won't be our problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Duh. Shi-na! I'm here. Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval. Who was that? No. Wait. Let's hold on for a second. There's no need to obtain approval. Mr. Amano. Agent Lang, if you will please take a look at this. What is this? Shi-na! It's the deed to the haunted house. The deed? Read it out loud! Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Amano for the lump sum of $1 million, paid in full in cash. What? As you can see, I am not a legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you... I ran into the owner of the park earlier. We made a deal almost immediately. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. That $1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was... Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any use for it now, so you may take it. You can have it back now. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course. While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Romano was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Ugh! Mr. Romano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, your truth will be lost forever. Holy crap. What the hell just happened? Why is he acting like this? It almost is like he knows that Lance is pretty guilty, and it's like he'll do anything to save his spoiled son. Oh boy. I'm a little angry now. But I guess we're going to try figuring out everything next time, guys. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. I'll see you guys later.